Alright, tool groupies, today on the channel we got the next generation high leverage 3-piece plier set by Kobalt Tools. This is model number 5062989. Let's get to it. This 3-piece plier set that you're looking at here today was first available at Lowe's during Christmas time of 2022. It retailed for about $25. I paid about $8 for it on clearance just a few weeks later, and I'm just now getting around to making the video on these tools. This is their high leverage plier set. It consists of an 8.5-inch long nose plier, 7-inch diagonal cutter, plus a 7.5-inch lineman plier. All three of these are forged in China from nickel-plated chrome vanadium alloy steel. Each one of these have laser etched indicators. Both the lineman and the long nose plier have precision machine teeth, and all three of these do come with an induction hardened cutting blade. It is a pretty cheap and effective way to harden up the cutting blades to prevent them from dulling. They all have an ergonomic non-slip bi-material grip, basically matching the rest of the Kobalt tool lineup. They did redesign these a little bit, but they still got the overall grips like the rest of the Kobalt tool line. Each one of the pliers also has a flush hot riveted joint, another flush riveted joint right here at the base of each one of the jaws. They got some rivets on the actual handles themselves, which attaches them to the upper part of the jaw here. Basically, the way these are designed, it does produce that high lever function, and there isn't any jaw slop on any one of these pliers here. They all seem to function nice and smooth. No signs of jaw slop on any of the joints, which means you're going to get a pretty firm grip and strong cut. There's some people out here who's going to assume that a high leverage plier should have a wider jaw capacity than the plier that they're based off of, but that's not always the case. You can see right here, linesman versus linesman. Traditional linesman does have a much wider jaw than the high leverage. Handles on the high leverage pliers do open all the way up. You can see here with the long nose pliers and with the side cutters. So the jaws on the traditional pliers are definitely going to be wider than the high leverage pliers. High leverage pliers are intended to open up nice and wide. That way you can get a really good grip on each handle with one or two hands. If you get one or two hands on this, you're going to be able to apply enough force to easily cut through materials or grip objects with a lot less effort. It does depend on the type of name brand tool that you invest in and the type of design it has overall as to whether or not the jaws will open up wider than its predecessor. As long as you've got this type of design right here, it's going to give you some extra leverage that you wouldn't otherwise have with the traditional pliers. I do want to go ahead and do a brief demonstration and show these tools in action and give you an example of exactly why these high leverage pliers are good to have. Of course, any type of traditional pair of pliers that you've got should be able to cut through copper wire. And there's a variety of different wire sizes. You can easily cut copper wire if you got a halfway decent tool to do it with. It comes down to these high leverage pliers. They're basically designed for you to be able to cut through it with a lot less effort. It does cut a lot smoother than what a regular pair of pliers does. For an example, this is a cord that comes off of a refrigerator. It's nice and wide. You can always get an extension cord, cut them in half if you want to, but like I said, this is just a demonstration. If you take a little 6-inch pair like this right here, you're cutting through 4 of these different wires, you're going to have to press down on it. It will cut it, but it does take some effort to do so. Whenever you put the high leverage pliers on here, you barely got to press down. It'll cut through them like butter. The best example that I can use here is this wire shelf. This is pieces of a wire shelf. I've been doing some remodeling jobs as of late. I've been installing a bunch of these wire shelves in all the places I've been doing the remodeling. You can pick these up at Lowe's, Home Depot, 100 other different stores. Whenever you cut these types of wire shelves, you got to take a set of bolt cutters to them and cut them because they're made of solid steel. This is going to be thicker steel than what a wire clothes hanger would be. I'll take these linesman pliers, I'm going to put them over here, and I'm going to show you exactly how easy this is. Nice and smooth. I can go down through here cutting this all day long without a bit of issue. The cutting blades on this have no damage at all. That's what these tools are designed to do. If I took a regular pair of these pliers to cut through that, I'd be applying force to both of these handles with both hands to put a lot more pressure on it to get it to cut through it. But you don't got to do that whenever you got these high leverage pliers because of the way it's designed. No different than you're going to get in a cheater pipe putting it on a ratchet. The way these are designed, it helps provide leverage whenever you need it the most. It'll be right in between those cutting blades right there, right in between the teeth, depending on whatever it is that you're working with. Personal opinion, I'm someone who has had Kobalt for a very long time now. I still got some USA made Kobalt tools floating around here somewhere. And ever since then, their tools have been hit and miss concerning their pliers. Maybe you'll get a good set, maybe you won't. That does have to do with the manufacturing over in China. The problem about having stuff manufactured in China is the fact that a lot of these companies don't want to pay for a premium quality tool. Basically invest in the type of tools that they want. They have them produced with their name on them for their store. You get the same old run-of-the-mill tools that everybody else has got. Whenever China mass produces those things, they really don't care about quality control. Gotta say, here recently, Lowe's has decided to reinvest in the Kobalt hand tools, and the overall quality has definitely improved across the board. Well, is the selection of tools that they're offering under the Kobalt line. If you paid attention and you've been in Lowe's as of late, you know that they got a brand new set of hand tools rolled out in the plumbing section, electrical section. They got some brand new hammers they just now released on top of the redesign of their sockets and ratchets. So Lowe's is actually trying to compete and improve the quality of tools under the Kobalt tool line. I'm fine with that. If you produce a decent quality tool and people enjoy using that tool, it's going to make them money, going to get the job done that they need done, that's great. People like myself do reviews like this because we don't want people going out here and spending their hard-earned money on something that's going to be junk. These tools that you're looking at here do come with a hassle-free lifetime guarantee. However, this 3-piece high leverage plier set is not currently available in store or online. The original release of this 3-piece plier set was actually part of the Gen 3 promotion. Yes, if you want to warranty these tools out and you bought some for yourself, you're going to have to warranty them out by contacting Kobalt directly. Other than that, I'm not sure exactly how they would warranty these out or whether or not they plan on bringing these tools back in the future. All I can do at this moment in time is give you my initial thoughts and first impressions on these tools as I see them here today. Now, as a tool set, I can tell you this much: they've definitely improved. These really do appear to be some good pliers all around. Personally, I think they would be a premium choice for any do-it-yourselfer out there or someone who might be an appliance repair technician, and in my personal opinion, for any maintenance technician in general. You see, I'm someone who thinks there's a big difference in people who are discussing a professional quality tool versus a pro tool. Professional quality tool means something like Channel Lock, Klein, Ridgid, Max, Snap-on. If you're talking about those types of tools, you're talking about quality and performance overall. I'm talking about a pro tool. I think it all depends on the tool's quality and performance for certain trades. Quite honestly, the maintenance trade is one of the largest and most underrated trades in the country. Think for yourself exactly how many maintenance technicians are out here. You got commercial machine, industrial equipment repairs, residential, property preservationists, people who install security equipment. I mean, there's 1,000 different types of trades out here, and a lot of them would fall under what we declare as a maintenance technician. 3-piece plier set I see here today, I think the Kobalt hand tools does fall in that category where certain trades pros will have a good choice. If I was to go out here and invest in some tools to do their job with, I don't think they would have a bad option when it comes to the Kobalt line, as long as Kobalt actually continues to produce a decent quality tool like these right here. Price point that I gave for them, like I said, I got them on clearance for about $8. These things are spectacular for that price. Whether or not they come back in stock or not, we'll just have to wait and see. Been around tools long enough over the last 23 years, and I've used enough of them to know whenever something's a decent quality or not. I can already tell you, matching up some of the traditional Kobalt tools against the high leverage pliers here, I've got some that spans over the last 2 decades. I can tell you that these here are definitely a big improvement from these right here. Maybe sometime soon we'll do a side-by-side comparison video where I pull out all the Kobalt hand tools that I got and I match them up against each other plier for plier, because you can tell differences in the manufacturing process. Kobalt long nose pliers I've got longer tips, shorter tips, wide and fat, short and skinny. It depends on which company they went to manufacture the product to begin with. Some of this new Gen 3 lineup I'm actually pretty impressed with because they're putting some effort into trying to produce a better quality tool, and that's a good sign. Like the brand new hammer sets that they recently released, I was down there looking at them. Basically got rid of all the Craftsman hammers that they had in stock, rolled out a brand new selection of Kobalt hammers. I tell you what, for those things to be manufactured in China, they probably paid for a premium quality manufacturing process this time around because they look really good. This video here today is just my initial first thoughts and impressions on these tools right here. Come over, give you the basics. If you have these tools though, I would like to hear from you. Tell us your thoughts and experience on these if you've used them in the trade. Well then, all you got to do is stay tuned to the channel, follow on all these social media platforms, because you will see these tools in action, tested in the trade. Plus, I'll do an after action performance review after a few months of use and abuse on these Kobalt tools. Till next time, stay tuned to the channel because we got plenty of content coming up. And always, pop the clutch on that subscribe button and keep doing that blue collar hustle.